Welcome to the Unclehack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
Another episode, folks. We get on your level. Oh, yeah. A beautiful episode ahead of us. Lovely day in the bright, bright world. The bright, bright lights. We're feeling good. We're feeling great. I'm hearing some complaints about the new setup. I get it. Hey, the other one felt like we were hanging out a little better, wasn't it? Yeah, it was good. It was great. But as times change, we have to evolve. We have to evolve, folks. And that's just unfortunate. And speaking of evolving, Grand Prairie, July 20th, has been moved to November 9th. We'll go through the list. Meanwhile, that upcoming stand-up dates, July 24th in San Jose, California, July 25th, Brea, California, July 26th, Los Angeles, North Hollywood, to be exact. July 27th in Pasadena, August 17th, we are in Thunder Bay, Ontario, September 6th, Edmonton, Alberta, September 26th, Comox, British Columbia, September 27th, Victoria, British Columbia, October 19th, Fort St. John, November 9th in Grand Prairie, as mentioned prior. That show has been moved, different venue, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes around here. November 16th, just added Toronto, Ontario. December 19th, Oxnard, California. Lots of dates coming up here in the next little while. Folks, that's the life of a danger cat. We're always meowing and growling and people upsetty spaghetti. But we keep chugging along, folks. That's the joy of this business. Comedy. Hey, folks, comedy. You want to be a comedian, do you? You thought you'd quit your silly little job out there in the oil patch, making good money to go out there and tell little jokes to folks. And we're loving it. Okay? We're loving it. But it's been an uphill grind. Summertime is now here. Playoff hockey now over, as you may all know. I am a big Edmonton Oilers fan, and we got to give a big round of applause. I know many of the players probably listen to this podcast. You know, this is the most widely known podcast throughout Canada. We're the Joe Rogan of retards. You know, we are the Dr. Phil of fucking rednecks. We solve problems. We solve issues. You know, we did used to have a portion on this show where we would allow you to write in hate mail, and all we asked in return was you'd send in a voicemail so we can hear the tone, the delivery, how it comes across, how it can be perceived. You know, that's all we were really asking for, and nobody wants to do that anymore. Nobody wants their voice on the internet. Just me, right? That seems to be the thing, but Edmonton Oilers, they take it all the way to a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final, despite being in the basement. When was it? November? In the bottom of the standings in November to the Stanley Cup Final, Game 7. You know what? I couldn't be happier as a fan of the game, and I know I got people out here. You know, I pay attention. I'm not one of these guys that are like, don't read the comments. I got to see what people are saying. And then you get these folks, right? Sports ball. That's what they're calling it. Sports ball. Kick your feet up for one night. You know, being racist on the internet and homophobic, you can take a night off every now and then. And I know, well, that's how they win. That's not how they win. Where, I'm tired of feeling like I got to be like on the forefront of some sort of battle with the public. I just want to tell jokes. Is it that hard? And I know, like, there's got to be pushback, and we are in that area, I guess. But I want to do it over there. I don't want to be like an online activist type deal. And this isn't throwing shots at anybody, okay? I'm not looking to be I don't know, like a fucking Ben Shapiro, and I know, wow, he's a Jew. You can never be a Jew. I'm not trying to be that. I just want to be fucking funny, and get some jokes out there, and whether they're edgy or a little bit fucking woo, that's the point. I think people don't quite understand what I get up to most of the time, and how not serious I should be taken. And that's the fun part of like being a moron on the internet. Meanwhile, I guess doing it for a laugh. I'm not, I don't have any tiki torches in my garage. A lot of people are like, this guy's a white nationalist, and I don't even own a tiki torch. I don't even know how you cross that bridge when you don't own a tiki torch, But we're seeing it, right, folks? We're seeing it. Even the politicians now, they're finding a way to talk about immigration and doing it in such a fine manner, I will say. One thing I will say with being a bilingual country, that allows politicians to really say what they want in French. I don't know if any of you notice this, okay? I don't know if any of you notice this, but the most wild things a politician in this country can say always happen to be in French. Now, conservative, liberal, who cares? They both do it on both sides, and I find that hilarious. I find it so funny that one moment you'll be like, they'll be like in English and be like, well, we will be taking this matter quite seriously. We got to talk with our people, and we got to figure out a plan moving forward. And then they switch to French. They'll be on a French channel, and they'll be like, Tabernacle, we got to send them back. They totally switch it up. You've seen it with Big Trudy when he was talking about the unvaccinated, being like they're racist, they're misogynistic, and then in English he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like translators don't exist, Like people don't speak both languages in this country. I'm not one of those folks because I like women, okay? I refuse to speak French because I like ladies. That's why. I'm not about to be one of these guys that I'm not going to be bilingual and like both sides. I'm not one of them guys. Who do you think I am? You think one moment I'm out here kissing boys and trying to finger bang the next? You think I get all rock solid kissing boys? Well, I do. And I only stick to one gender, okay? That's why. And it's boys. That's right. Your beloved hero's gay. You thought I was Mr. Anti-Trans this whole time, but I like dudes with boobs, fat boys, fat jiggly-titted boys that aren't scared to not wear a t-shirt at the swimming pool. That's the kind of guy I am. I don't want. If I'm gonna be gay, they better have tits. But I find it hilarious, these politicians that they hop on these news networks in Quebecois, and then they'll be saying the most wild shit in French, like the rest of the country isn't going to see it, like it isn't going to be translated, but national press can't run with it because half the country doesn't care. If they were running French the whole time, you could run it, right? You could run it, but they refuse to. Why? I don't know. I think that's the best play as a politician ever. Is to just go on and if you're a conservative, you can go and be the most racist man alive or xenophobic or whatever the hell it is, Islamophobic. I don't even know anymore. I can't keep up. Muslim phobic. So many phobics. And then just switch it over to English and just be the most bland person you can on every major issue in the country. I think that's the move. That is definitely the move. You just, one moment you have to be screaming nonsense, whatever side you are on. It doesn't matter. You know, that's the joy. If you are screaming shit in French, you're just kind of like, it sounds like it should be egregious or outrageous or hateful, as they say. You know, you can't talk in this country without being hateful. You can't just speak your mind. Well, that's a little bit hateful. We kind of, you know, you got to do it in French. So now I'm insisting anybody who's an extremist on the left or right, I say learn French and let it sail. That's the only way you can get those words out is by doing it in French in this country, you know? Because, like, if you're going to offend anybody, whether it be on the left or right, Like let's take a right-wing leaning, or I guess a right-wing talking point like immigration. And, like, you know, you could be very bland, like we said in the beginning, and talk with compassion. You know, these people are coming here. We got to accommodate them to our lifestyle. Then you switch it up to French and it'll be like, ho, ho, we must put our head on a stake, bon oui. If they decide that they're not going to assimilate to Canada, we are going to hang them by a bridge and beat their bodies with sticks, and we'll make it a national holiday. No Canada Day in Montreal anymore. We got to have a Pride Festival. Bon nuit. You know, you can do it on the left as well, right? Like I just seen in Montreal, they're not going to have a Canada Day celebration. Reasons being, I am not sure. This was a brief read before I hopped on to record the pod, and I seen that. Hey, then that's an extreme left. You know, the extreme left is like, you know, we gotta have reconciliation, and we gotta shake hands with all the Native folks, and that's what this day's gotta be. We gotta cancel Canada Day and pretend we care about the natives, right? We gotta pretend we care. There's a new type of Indian coming over, and we gotta accommodate them more right now. You know, we tried accommodating the natives, but they're not happy with us just kind of saying like, hey, we're on unceded and unconquered or unsurrendered territory, and they're not happy. So we're going to focus our attention to the ones that we bring in and make them feel a little more welcome by having tandoori chicken at a Subway. That's what we're going to do, okay? All right, folks, we're going to put the tandoori chicken at a Subway so that way the new Browns can feel welcome. And then you switch it up to French and be like, oh, bon nuit. We must take all the racists and beat them with a Pride Festival baton that leads a charge every year. We must get rid of Canada Day and replace it with Gender Affirming Surgery Day. Everybody come down to the park. We will chop your cock off, and with the remaining cocks that are thrown into a Tupperware, we will sew it onto your child free of cost. All Canada Day, it shall be switched to the end of Pride Festival, so that way next year when June roll around, we have more Pride people. Bon nuit, you come down, we'll give you a free sample of either estrogen or testosterone. Bon nuit. And there you have it. And that's how you skirt by both sides by getting what you truly want to say out in Canada, is just by learning French. And I know I don't speak French, but throw a French accent on it for all I care. People will, they'll dismiss it. You get to feel like you're heard. And it's win-win for everybody, I feel like, at this point in our current state of the country, not a state. And that's how we get by it, you know? That's how we get by it. I find myself getting irritated, you know, more and more. And that's the joy of this world. The irritation levels go up. I feel like, you know, it's like constant. I've got mental psoriasis. I feel like, you know, I got mental eczema. I'm itchy in the brain all the time. You know, I'm seeing things out in public that just irritate me constantly. I got to figure out how to navigate feelings as a grown man now. You know, I can't resort to just anger, outbursts, and violence anymore. You know, we're trying to guardrail society a little more. We're trying to, just demasculate men and just not let our truth. I know, like for centuries, we've operated like this. And now all of a sudden, at the drop of a fucking hat, we're all supposed to just like go to therapy and hug people, We're supposed to show emotions, but then we show emotions and those aren't the right emotions, So what I like to do is no need for therapists. No need for therapists. Some people feel it's a waste of money. So do I. What I like to do is hop behind the wheel, make sure the windows are rolled up, and just go look at the world around me and get angry at it and get it all out, scream at the steering wheel, scream at the windshield, and it releases all the tension. You can come back refreshed. Some folks maybe go down to a, some sort of martial arts studio, an MMA gym. But I can't do that. I can't do that because then I get in my head that I should take one more fight. I should get out there and go mix it up one more time. You cannot drop that in your head. Once you've competed in a sport, that's why beer league hockey is the way it is. Once you've competed, it can't leave your body. It can't just, you're wired that way from just a young boy. You're put into competition. So you wonder why beer league guys are going mental. Some of us can leave it in the past and be like, this is just for me to get exercise. But every now and then, you get against a team you fucking hate, you want to beat them. So you do whatever it takes to win that game. Stick them, fucking slash them, punch them in the head, get in a fight at a beer league game at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's what men do. We're competitive. But then you do that and everybody, oh, Jesus, what the hell's wrong? What the hell's wrong with me? Since I was a 5-year-old boy, my parents were riding on me to make it to the NHL. I was a retirement plan. I was supposed to be their lottery ticket, playing competitive hockey all the way up AA, AAA, Junior A, Junior B, whatever it is. They thought I was going to make it. Invested all this time and money, and then I become an immature adult. Let's be honest. A lot of us are immature, and we're supposed to suppress that and keep it in and not fucking be competitive no more. And you're supposed to strip that all away and just go for a little skate. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. That's why I can't go back to mixed martial arts or go start hitting the bag or anything like that. Because then I get the fire. I get the desire to go in there. And that's not good. So that's why what I do now is just go for a little drive and I look at the world around me and I get angry at it and I yell and I cuss and I do all the things necessary to get that out of my system, And one thing that I found that had me irritated, I was going up the wall about this, going berserk. I'm sitting there at a stoplight. And I look over and I see one of those electric bikes. Now, I have nothing against those. It's a great mode of transportation. It's a great way to get around where you need to be. But I feel like that's only for select people. And I look over and I see just an obese individual on one of those beside another obese individual on an electric bike that, no pedaling required. And I just got physically angry. I gripped the steering wheel and I'm like, you fucking, and I'm not angry at the person being fat. I'm over at I'm mad at the you lazy son of a bitch. Cause I know in your mind, you think that what you're doing is physical exercise and somehow you are being active. You're being active with this. When everybody around you is looking at you like, your friends, oh, we got bikes this year. We got bikes. We're going for bike rides. And it's like, no, you're not. It's not a fucking bike ride. Know what electric bikes are made for? Dudes with DUIs. That's who those bikes are made for. They're not meant, let's be real. If you got a DUI and you have places to be, I have a feeling that you don't require a license to drive one of those around town, do you? I don't know. I don't have a DUI. I drive like a human being, okay? That's what I do. That, and I don't get caught. You dummies. But you look at those bikes and you think to yourself, no, that right there, that bike, right? That bike is meant for somebody who fucked up their life and they have places to be. And they don't have time. They don't want to burn the whole tank. You know, you can't be hungover every morning hopping on a fucking 12-speed heading to work, right? Even though it'd be the best thing for you to sweat out last night's fucking tall boy, last night's bottle of whiskey, right? But no. The whales are riding these things around. And I just got mad. And like, I was talking to somebody about it and they're like, that's a very elitist attitude that everybody's supposed to be in shape. And it's like, I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at their body shape. I'm mad at the fact that this is their form of exercise is being even more late. Just stay home. I don't need you running around town lying to everybody that you went out and got some exercise. You didn't. You sat on a bike while it scooted you around, while that battery worked overtime to lug that fat ass around town. And that's what had me just drove up the wall mad. And I shouldn't be like that. I should not be like that. I should be like, oh, nice, they're outside. But I'm not like that. And I'm trying to figure that out and I'm trying to navigate that. And I think that just by hopping behind the wheel and going for a little drive and getting that all out of my system stops me from having to say something in public. You know, like I discuss it with people in my cohort and they're like, well, no, you know, and it's like, no. You're not changing my mind on this. Okay. This is just a discussion piece. You can throw things back at me. We can play ping pong with this topic, but by no means are you going to change my mind over the fact that this person is a lazy individual using technology to feel like they're being active. I'm not about to, you're not changing my mind on that. You know, and then that brings me to my next point of like how we view things and how angry we get about stuff. And it's something as like this right here is you have a kindergarten class let's go back here for just a second. I want to read the caption. Kindergartners watch a drag show at St. Andrew's Elementary School in St. John's, Newfoundland. You know, and this is, they've since blocked their tweets so nobody can tweet at them. And, people got angry about this. You head into the comments and Canada is a warning to all countries in the West. I dislike how we are perceived. Because a lot of us are just kind of like, can you knock it off right now? Can you cool it a little bit here? We got enough going on. And it's just like an overwhelming process of like, you got to be gay, you got to be accepting, you got to allow the immigration, you can't say anything about the fatties riding the electric bikes. You can't, go out and do comedy right now because, you got yourself in a little bit of hot water and a lot of people are upset. They're throwing emails around. You can't go into the lunchroom and start slinging some jokes around because you might have to go home and never come back. But to me, this is just getting a little extreme, Like we're trying too hard to just let these kids hang out. Like what I'd like to know what they think, the kids. Let's watch this video. And we're going to. Oh yeah, that's right. We don't have it coming through. Oh God. I swear every week I'm getting closer and closer to really. Here we go. So it appears to me that they're watching RuPaul's Drag Race on television inside of, like on a drop screen in the classroom. And you got the teacher. The teacher is that the one who's filming this? The teacher thought like, hey, get a load of this. Kindergarten Ken on TikTok put this up. And it has a no space for hate profile picture. You know. One poor little sucker. He's got his goddamn mask on still. What is going on over there? I thought Newfoundland, what's going on? I thought you guys kind of had your shit together a little bit. Or like as all the Newfies that you go up to Fort McMurray and you tell them what a drag queen is and they'd be shocked and be like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's my old lady. That's my old lady. Half them there drag queens are a little bit gooder looking than every broad that is out there in the Newfoundland there by, right? Over there trying to wrestle the calf, and I was out there fucking a goddamn heifer there the other weekend there by, and boy, oh boy, I'll tell you that, much better than going home to the old lady there. Fucking John Jingleheimer Schmidt, Christ Almighty, and that's. It's unfortunate, I do enjoy Newfies. I do enjoy them. They're good for a laugh. But, why? Why? I ask myself why before really getting in. Is this like conducive to like, what is this doing? Are we molding children? Do we need more drag queens? Is that what we need? We need more drag queens? If anything, we need more construction workers. You need Bob the fucking builder in there telling them like, hey, you can live a miserable life too. You don't have to go through the process of all that makeup and everything. And quite honestly, guys will give you work boots to come be miserable. You don't got to go through this weird process of trying to figure out who you are. You can just take this path of a sore back and a stubborn mind because you refuse to give up, right? And just go down this road that, you know what, at the end of the day, a lot of trades guys get kicked in the nuts over their career choice. But let's be real, they have every God-given right to be proud of their job as well. And, some of these poor little suckers right here that are in this kindergarten class are just going to be carrying around scaffolding fucking pieces at Fort McMurray like their ancestors and the Newfies before them. Is that what we're looking to do, is create the next RuPaul's Drag Race Newfoundland edition? Is that what's happening here? Kids all fucking huddled up around the TV watching some drag queen event go on, and then the teacher, the most important years of a young Homo sapiens mind is now in the hands of some jerk off. You're like, this is like, this new modern wave of teaching is irritating. You got this, everybody sat around and be like, why is this old broad still here trying to get her pension? It's already, like the pension it's been made, go home. But those old ladies that used to teach in the classroom that did not have any time for bullshit, we need them back. We need another wave of like old, disgruntled women back in the classroom. That's when it was at its peak. It's like women that grew up in an era where their grandfather would talk about war. What are our grandparents talking about? Boy, yeah, back in the 70s and 80s there, it was a good time. I used to hoover sneef off this broad named Sheila in the parking lot of the high school. And boy, oh boy, she had a mitt pounded by everybody on the senior football team, but you never passed up when it was your turn. That was their war, was not contracting a sexual fucking disease in a parking lot of a community center. That was their Vietnam. And we got to go back to like people that their parents like came back shell shocked. just 1,000-yard stare, and if like the popcorn went off a little too loud, Grandpa would get uneasy and think that the Germans were around the corner. That is like, we're due for a war to straighten this all out. And as we progress, white guys are back in fucking military commercials, so suit up. We're about to correct all of this. A lot of folks, they get angry at this. And don't worry, World War III is right around the corner. The Russians are flexing on the States. Israel's pushing for a war with like Syria, Lebanon. I'm going to get us like fucking Egypt's right around the corner. All these Middle Eastern countries, which will then drag the U.S. into another big war. And we'll start, piecing the horse shit all together. Russia, Ukraine. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we got Brazil, Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, China, all kind of, they're pooling together. They're trying to wean off the petrodollar in Saudi Arabia. So that last time, when that discussion was brought up, a war kicked off. So we're right around a war. We're about time for another one. We just got to drag everybody into it and make like the strong men cannon fodder once again. So that way we have something to fight for. And when those guys come back, and they have their little bit of that, I like the term shell-shocked. It's a little more, it has a little bit more edge to it. And when those guys start having episodes again, that's going to straighten this all out, because the last thing you need is a undercover man as a woman and fooling these guys and having them snap. Then the drag queens start getting punched in the head. And I say that like not in a disrespectful manner, then in a hateful manner. I'm just saying, hey, take a look down the future. This is the pipeline that we're creating for ourselves. We have a world war ahead of us. We have a lot to think about here. Is this important? We should be teaching these young kids on like how to jump on a grenade. And I don't mean that like a woman that's riding around an electric bike by any means, so that way your friend can fuck the hot one. What I'm saying is, these kids, you got to start feeding a little war information into them. We got to breed some soldiers here. We got a big war, and it's going to be a long, lengthy one, maybe. That or the whole world detonates. Either or, I'm going to refuse to spend the last days of my life on this earth happy. Okay? So I'm going to seek out things that anger me so that way I can mature as a man. You look at your father. When does your father smile? He should never smile. Dad should never smile unless you've done like a violent act in the name of justice or accomplish something that only a dude could appreciate, like bringing a hot girl home for Thanksgiving dinner. These are the things, like dad can't outright say it, but inside he should smile that you brought home a hot piece of ass. My boy's hitting that. Whether the woman is mentally stable or not, that's, who cares, Who cares? You got to make dad smile with acts of violence in the name of justice or hot pussy. That's it. That's what we're bred for. Once dad hit his hit that milestone in life where, chasing it down doesn't apply to him no more, then he seeks that enjoyment through his son. And that's just, we can't outright say that as men. We got to just accept the fact that, oh, God, my kid's a fucking drag queen. I got to find ways to be positive about it. The wife, every time he comes around, fucking, and this is why the trans kids are killing themselves. And it's like, yeah, I spent all these years trying to instill these lessons in life. And then all of a sudden a kindergarten teacher comes around, plays fucking RuPaul Drag Race. And now my son's prancing around listening to Cyndi Lauper wearing his sister's dress. I don't know what happened. It's like, relax. Just let the kids play with dinosaurs and piss their pants. We don't got to teach them grandioso lessons about fucking acceptance out in the real world. They'll figure it out. You know, it's enough with this. You don't see, you know, if they're going to do this, then I think they got to allow like extremists to come in. And whether it's jihadists, Nazis, whatever it is, I don't care at this point. But let them come in and speak some nonsense as well. You know, I think it's only fair. And then the kids can decide, what do they like more? Do they like tanks and rocket launchers? Or do they want to put lipstick on and fucking lipstick on, dress up in their sister's garb and start lip syncing to Lady Gaga albums? You know, let the kids decide. There's really no decision here. If we're going to go extreme left, we got to go extreme right and balance it out, just like the budget, according to Mr. Trudeau. You know, let some ISIS character come in and just be like, hey, kids, do you like when the rockets go boom? So do we. What do you say we go out in the parking lot and I have about 4 rockets and 4 lucky of you will be allowed to blow up the kindergarten Ken's the Honda Civic hatchback from 2008. What do you say, kids? And they all, yay, we got to blow up a car. Right? And that balances it out. I think it's only fair at this point in the game. I think it's only fair that we allow this to happen. And who knows, maybe this fires up a little something. Maybe folks start enjoying themselves again, right? Now, hold on, lady. Shut your hole. Now with that, right? Like maybe they go the other way. And like our next little thing that we want to talk about is this group, Just Stop Oil, broke into a private airfield and attempted to vandalize Taylor Swift's private jet, are speaking out and calling for an international treaty against burning of fossil fuels. Just Stop Oil did this. It's, you know. So they broke in to this air. Jesus Christ. And they come in with the paint and they paint all these things. They paint them orange. It's just the most, you know, I do like that they're messing with like the elite and the rich now rather than, you know, this is who you need to be targeting. Okay. If you want to get people on your side, they're slowly figuring it out because I guess like when you block roads, you get punched in the head. You know, when you're interrupting an everyday citizen's just daily tasks and you prolong them longer than they anticipated and you're chewing into somebody's free time, they tend to get a little angry about that, right? They tend to get out of their car and punch you in the head, and they don't want their free time taken up because fat asses glued their hands to street corner or fucking streets of busy areas. You know, you don't want to do that. You don't want your day interrupted. It's interrupted enough. You know, social media and everything else angers us as it is. We tend to allow the internet to really dictate our emotions. And with this, I'm finally agreeing on who they are targeting. You know, ruin Taylor Swift's plane with some shitty fucking orange. In fact, you're creating jobs because somebody's going to have to clean that off, right? You're creating jobs with this. By sitting in traffic and chaining yourself to another individual that wants to sit in traffic, you're prolonging someone else's day. Where here, possibly somebody's going to be getting paid overtime to scrub that jet clean so Taylor Swift can go on her international tour on a private jet. I'm kind of for this, you know? I am kind of for this. Now let's get into it.
I'm 22 and I've just sprayed 2 private jets orange. While people are starving, the elite and the...
It is hilarious. You know, while people are starving, Meanwhile, she looks like she hasn't missed a meal in a little while. Like, not the skinniest of ladies. And I'm not sitting here trying to, but I mean, like, what a stance to take as somebody who's eating well, right? As somebody who is slugging back a good meal every now and then, it's tough to be like, okay, I see your point. Like, if you were skinny, scrawny, and hopping on the side of these people that aren't eating so fine, right? I could be like, okay, all right, she's making a point. I can possibly jump behind this, but no. How so? Every day there's a new reason your activism is engaged. Activism mode, engage. We're gonna spray paint Taylor Swift's private jet. Is this even is it Taylor Swift's private jet, or is she just talking out of her ass? It is funny watching this fucking old jiggle tits out here on an airline.
And I just sprayed 2 private jets orange. While people are starving, the elite and the rich fly thousands and thousands of feet in the air above us all. Billionaires are not untouchable.
Billionaires are not untouchable.
The elite and the rich.
What is it?
Thousands and thousands of feet in the air above us all. While people are starving, the elite and the rich fly thousands and thousands of feet in the air above us all. Billionaires are not untouchable.
There you have it. They're fighting back the good fight by painting planes orange. Is that not damaging to the earth as well? Because like the people that are going to clean that are not environmentalists by any means. Like, that paint's going to end up somewhere, right? It's going to end up somewhere. I don't think people really think a lot of the shit that they do through. I think a lot of it just kind of, it's an idea in the moment, and nobody seems to care. Nobody thinks it through. It's quite honestly comical. While people are starving, the elite are flying thousands of miles above. Well, that's the fucking point. Do you think they want to be beside you and I? Do you think the rich think to themselves, boy, I'd love to fucking fly commercial with all these slobs. I got all this money. Why would I want to, use it to my advantage to, segregate myself away from all the slobs? Have you been on an airline lately? It's a nightmare. I'm not over here flying first class or anything like that, but when you walk through first class, it's like, it is hilarious how some people will look at you like, they got to look like, no. You don't get to give that look because you're sitting in a bigger chair than me. All right. You got duped. You're a dummy. Okay. You're a dummy. You could have bought 2 seats for the same price in the back. Now I get you get unlimited drinks. You get this royal service on what? WestJet? On WestJet? I think that the rich deserve to fly with this is what Just Stop Oil should be. Sorry, I got distracted by a comment. Why the fuck are y'all vandalizing artwork? That's another thing. I forgot about that. Hey, we're going to go in and spray paint the Mona Lisa. It's like, hey, whoa. We're going to go in and damage some ancient fucking building. We're going to go paint that. Slobs, retards. This is what happens when a society just like diminishes violence. Violence is good in a sense that it helps curate a lot of the moron, the need. It squashes the need for the dorks to rise up. Right now, we're like we've let the dorks get too much power, you know? Too much of it is in their court, where we just need a little pushback. Now, it doesn't need to resort to violence, you know, unless like these guys are interrupting your day, then I'm all for maybe fucking drag them off the street, but we don't need to boot fuck somebody and put them in the hospital by any means. You know, we don't need to do that. I'm not for something like that. And I know that's not really a comedic take. That sounds like you're advocating for violence. Who, me? Not me. I would never do such a crime, say. I would never do such a thing, boy. But I think that, you know, if you are rich, you deserve, hey, fucking charter a plane. Use that wealth to your advantage, you know? Why would you want to be around peons like me and squished in the back with like lard asses like that? You want to get an earful? You imagine that lady hops on a plane and she ends up sitting beside somebody with some wealth and power and it's like, hey, I'm going to put my headphones on and listen to whatever fucking dog. I'm going to listen to this podcast and this dog shit podcast with this guy who sits by himself and is lonesome. Actually, he's got an in-studio audience that's larger than life. You can't believe that week by week he sells thousands of tickets to this fucking show. And he has this Patreon that people sign up to. And I'm a Patreon member. And I got to say, the exclusive episodes are way better than the free ones that he puts out. And I highly suggest, you know, that you subscribe to it and just listen to this guy. You know, his name's Uncle Hack. He's got a Patreon, patreon.com/dangercat69. See what I did there? Not too many people can do that. Not too many people can just slide in a promo like that. But that's what separates us from the rest of the folks out there pumping out podcasts, folks. That separates us. That's the difference between me and them. And you sit there and you listen to this woman. She wants to squawk and squawk and squawk. She's asking the fucking, hey, excuse me, I need the seatbelt extender. And you got her and her shit's fucking squishing over to your side. And you're thinking, Jesus Christ, this is why I fly private. You can't have Taylor Swift going on a fucking world tour. You know, she's got to fly, you know. I don't blame them. All the private jets. You remember when everybody was getting upset over the private jets leaving the Super Bowl? It's like, duh. I am not going to sit here and act as if like I wasn't put in a position like that I wouldn't abuse it. And I look down upon everybody else who, you know, is on that flies commercial or, you know, doesn't recycle any of their cans, and I'd make it their problem. There's more of you. You're not going to stop me from being rich, okay? I'm going to wear expensive things. If I was put in that position, of course, you think I'm going to just develop a mind overnight? That'd be like, I should be a little more environmentally conscious. No, I'm going to pretend like the rest of them so I can get good boy points and get booked on fucking shit that I shouldn't be on. And have the rest of the world hate me. That's the point of this. It's not to go out and just be the greatest person ever. It's Hollywood, for fuck's sakes. But we look at celebrities with this idea that somehow they are great individuals deep down inside. And that's not how it should be. They should pretend to be good and be evil. No wonder, you know, Hollywood is filled to the brim with chomos. That's the point. That's the point of Hollywood. It's not meant, like, everything they create is fantasy. It's not real, you know? Rom-coms. Do you think that, who's walking around saying like, oh God, that is just a great, you know? That happens to me all the time. A friend of mine it happened to. No, it's a story. that's supposed to take your mind in a place made by people that are portrayed as good people in that story, even if they're doing wild. Most rom-coms start out with the woman cheating on the guy she's already with some dude who's a dipshit who just treats her good. You know, all of them are like that. And then behind the scenes, when they go, all right, cut, final wrap, what do? They go diddle a kid and drink fucking blood of a tortured goat. That's the point. That's art. And I'm not going to pretend like it isn't, folks. I just lost 4 subscribers from that. I just lost 4 subscribers from ranting like a fucking asshole. Now we're going to end on a high here. We're going to end on a high, okay? That's the point of this show, is I take you on a wild ride through a bunch of nonsense. Okay, so Marco Mendocino, one of the Liberal members, a Liberal MP in Ottawa, a man spits on him in public. And they record it and put it on the internet. And we're going to watch this video together, okay? Marco Mendocino, I can't remember. Is he like he's some sort of minister of like security or, I don't know what they make up. Maybe does it say the Liberal MP, Marco Mendocino, Canadian Free Living YouTube. For more details, check our link in the bio. Oh, Jesus. That's how he reacts to getting spit in the face. Oh, Jesus. That doesn't seem very nice. It is, there's a piece of me where, I know this is going to be a controversial take, and I'm so crazy to make it, but the fact that they're getting treated like this now is kind of funny. It's all come to bite them in the ass. Over the years, like a lot of people still haven't let go of the lockdowns and what it's done to them. And they've radicalized a lot of folks. They forget that, they've made people scared for the rest of their life through this. And we're seeing it, right? You still see folks wearing the mask. You still see the folks, acting as if like COVID is still, it's live, it's in the flesh, it's there, it's everywhere. And now here's the repercussions of the other side of like, now you've radicalized a large group of individuals inside the walls of this country, and they can't go anywhere. They can't leave the country due to probably financial reasons or some sort of criminal record. So now they're stuck. And their anger is being directed at government employees, which is kind of nice, Instead of screaming in fucking malls across this country, which I find to be the most retarded thing on the planet, is like to go into a mall and start marching. We're like, hey, ho, ho. Insert slogan has to go, does nothing. Right here, does a lot. Now, I'd imagine that there's going to be some sort of charge coming down the pipeline towards this gentleman. I'm just going to throw a sneaky suspicion that somebody is getting charged due to this, but he did give a good hawk. The fact that he stayed out there while people are screaming, "You're a piece of shit!" He knew something something bad was coming down the pipeline, and it was just a fucking Haktua. Speaking of Haktua, this is a Canadian Haktua. Spit on that thing. You think he got hard after that? I know that's rude. I'm sorry. Marco gets spit on, and I'm over here making jokes. The old Canadian Haktua is giving a loogie to the face of a Liberal MP. Now he went on his merry little way inside his little hotel, went upstairs, grabbed that free lotion, and pounded his dick like it owed him money. He was beating his dick like he was going to squeeze an extra couple cents of tax dollars out of it, you know? And what a character. What a man. What a man. What a man. What a man. What a horrible man.
Neither do what you guys do.
Not compared to what you guys do. That wasn't very nice. The most Canadian approach ever after getting spit in the face. Oh, that wasn't very nice. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to. You think you're a fucking asshole. What did you think he was going to come up and ask for your autograph? Hey, Marco, what's your thoughts on the upcoming federal election? We'd love to know. What are you thinking? Live here on my TikTok channel. Get the hell out of here. Jeez Louise. Folks, that is despicable. I can't believe Marco Mendocino is living out my fantasy of random men spitting in my face and waddling up into a lonesome hotel room where I can just pound my piece. You know, it's tough watching people live your dream, but that's just the world I live in. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Uncle Hack Podcast. We appreciate you here. Head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/DangerCat69 for an exclusive episode live on there waiting for you. Every week, Thursday, 3 p.m., the Uncle Hack Podcast will take place. And we thank you for being here with us. It's been quite a joy, folks. It's been quite a joy. And we will see you next week, Thursday, 3 p.m., patreon.com, DangerCats69. Goodbye. Good night, everybody.